Hi, I'm Steve Shelburne, owner and operator of Shelburne RV here in beautiful Cleveland, Tennessee. Well, good morning. Welcome back. It is cold here. I was off last week. Jen and I were down in Orlando at the NTP show. I didn't really grab no video down there. It's pretty much the same products we've shown in other videos, and those videos don't get a lot of views. You guys aren't interested in what happens at the show. You want to see all the repairs that we do. So I just didn't get no video of that. It was very cold while we were gone. Sometimes at night single digits. So it was 40s and 50s down there. So it wasn't terribly warm down there, but it wasn't like it was here. But we're back. It was interesting to talk to a lot of the other dealers that I network with in this industry, and to hear the troubles that the RV industry is actually in right now, especially with the high interest rates and people not really doing a ton of selling right now. And the parts have been pretty readily available. The parts haven't been a lot of problems. It's just the people aren't really spending the money like they were, and a lot of the dealerships are in trouble. So it's kind of disheartening to see the industry struggling the way it is, and there's a lot of nervous folks out there. And I can tell you, I didn't spend nearly what I normally spend this time of year buying parts, because it's just kind of, last year was such a crap year, and this year being an election year, I don't know. I think everybody's kind of nervous, and it shows in the shows, because there was a lot of people there, but a lot of the people weren't spending what we've spent in the past. I know a lot of dealers I was talking to have cut way back on parts buying. So I don't know. It's interesting to see what's going to happen. I don't know. But we're back here on this cold Monday morning. Got an InvisiShield. The boys, actually I got two InvisiShields we're going to be working on. The boys have gotten down there in the shop. We'll get some pictures of that. Thank you for all the comments last week. I mean, I know I had one guy that said my videos keep getting shorter and shorter. Guys, the parking lot is fairly empty, and I really haven't had a lot of video to grab, and I've got a ton sitting up here waiting on insurance approvals, waiting on parts. But they were closed 2 days last week and came in late one day because of the bad weather we had. So I think they took in one. So yeah, it's a little nerve-wracking when not any campers coming in. So I don't know. We'll see. January, February are typically the kind of nerve-wracking months for me, because not a lot going on. So we're trying to sell a lot of repair jobs that people have been putting off all summer long, to try to get those done. So I don't know. It's a little scary when the parking lot's as empty as it is. But all right, so let's get up here and get to going. I got some stuff we'll start looking at. Welcome back. All right, next one here's the Winnebago Meridia. It's got the ugly shield on it, and you can see how bad this one is. Now right there you can see where the clear has started failing in the paint, and kind of the same thing on the door. But yeah, this one's really, really ugly. It's one of the worst ones we've seen. So we're gonna start working on this. There's probably gonna be some paint issues on some of these. I mean, like that, you kind of see that stuff. But this one in the clear again, right there. But this one here is ugly, ugly. So we're gonna start working on it now. They're getting this one pretty much finished up now. The Meridia decal, obviously we can't save that. There's no way you're gonna save that. So it is what it is on that. But they're just kind of finishing up the little bits of glue that's left on there. But you can see how nice this one turned out. Now there's obviously some clear, and there was no InvisiShield right there. So the clear kind of had some issues there. And there was a few spots in here where they had some rock dings and such in the paint that, you know, obviously this kind of stuff shows up after you pull that off there. It's just the way it goes sometimes. You know, it's not unexpected to see some stone chips, especially in the front like that where it's been driving down the road. But compared to where we started and compared to where we're at now, this thing's night and day difference. So the next one in here is an 07 Newmar Essex. We're going to be doing InvisiShield on it. This one here has actually got Diamond Shield on here. You know, it's not in too bad a shape. It's just on there pretty good, but it's starting to look pretty crummy. Haven't seen anything really dangerous as far as pulling the paint off, but did find one of those. So hopefully the rest of that's not in here. All right, so you can see what they got going on here. Now, I've got my paint and body guys gonna give me a little touch-up paint, but yeah, there was a piece that came down here and then this piece wrapped over, and when they knifed that, that's what we got into on those. I mean, it stinks, but it is what it is. So other than that, it has turned out really, really nice. Now, like I said, this gentleman actually had hit something down here, and you can see where it scattered the paint. So we had to tread, you know, those are all fractures in the fiberglass. So we had to tread lightly around that stuff to get that off there. But other than that, this one turned out awesome. Like I said, just the Diamond Shield portion of it was just a nightmare because that stuff did not want to come off. So we had another 7500 kW diesel generator that came in, and we had no control of this thing through the controller. And so after testing, we found out that this board has an issue. So as you can see, they've got it all tore apart right there. And while we have this apart, of course, I'm going to go ahead and do our 10,000 or our 1,000 hour service, which is a water pump and a belt, because we're obviously this far into it. And I wasn't here last week when they worked on this, but there was no slide on this generator. So they actually had to jack the whole coach up enough to get that generator out from underneath the front bonnet. So it was a little bit of a challenge. So we obviously want to try to take care of some of that routine maintenance stuff while we have this apart. Little Springdale that came into the shop right here. You can see it's a little bitty small rascal, but came in because it had some roof issues. And as you can see, it has had some roof issues. And it's got some spots over there also. So this thing's been leaking for a while. And it's gonna have to have a roof quote because it's got some really bad spots over there. It's kind of falling in. So the boys are working on getting a price for that. And then this big Sabre fifth wheel we got sitting right here. The customer brought this one in, and the slide over here in the bedroom, the fascia was pulling out. And we got to looking, and look at here, floor's rotted out on this thing. So you can see where the fascia, they pushed it back in, but there was a huge, you can kind of see the gap right there where the slide it's coming apart down there. So he definitely wants to put slide out toppers on these, and Lippard actually put the pre-installed brackets, so it makes it a little simpler to install those. But we're got to give him a price on fixing this floor, see what we're going to do on that. So there you go. Brandon's got this on the test bench, and we've obviously got a bad fuel pump going on there. You saw with the pressures being all over the place. So he's getting that changed out now with a new one, and then we're going to retest. All right, so Mr. Lewis had a 6537-671 come in from Florida this morning. Customer stated that the breaker was being tripped inside the unit. And you can see this one's got some corrosion going on. But when he went to test this thing, no outdoor low. When the motor went to high, it threw a big old flame of fire out the motor. And you can see that sucker is nasty. So we're gonna put a motor in this thing and retest. Well, let's go back here and see how they're coming on this InvisiShield on this big Newmar. Now, that diamond shield on that thing was a nightmare. They have got 2 days tied up getting that off there. That sucker was on. But they've got it off. They got it cleaned up. We did have a little bit of paint damage. He actually had hit something on the front and damaged it there. And then when the installers put that diamond shield on there, they actually had scored it in some bad places with the knife. And of course, when we take the shield off, then it got a little bit of the paint on that. So, you know, you try to tread lightly, but this is what ends up happening. You saw us working on the Aqua Hot on this the other day. Brandon was working on that also. And it did have a problem with the fuel pump. You seen the needle kind of going crazy, so the fuel pump wasn't working correctly. And then once he got all that together, then it wouldn't run and ignite on diesel. And so after doing the troubleshooting tree on Aqua Hot, they found out that that there was power to the board. There was a signal to the board. The board wasn't actually allowing the Aqua Hot to run. So we had a board here at the shop. We went ahead and got that, a brand new one. So they got the new board on there, and that Aqua Hot's working as designed. Another project the boys are working on in here today is this Tiffin Class A motor coach. Now, it had a 10-gallon water heater in this. And the customer, he's got a pretty good sized family. He just didn't feel like that was going to supply the needs that he needed to do. So we're going to be installing this IW60 in here. And let me take you inside, kind of show you some of the challenges on this, because this really is a great product. So some of the challenges that we run into, especially on Class A motor coaches, where they put the water heater clear back here in the back. I mean, literally, that's your only room to work. So, you know, I'm a big guy, so trying to climb back in here sometimes can be very challenging, especially for trying to get your body in there and then both hands in there to try to tighten stuff up. It's a real challenge. But as you can see, they're working on that. They'll get that all fixed up and they'll be testing that. So this is the reason why we don't like China tires. Look at that tire versus those tires. This one obviously was getting ready to have a problem. Got a little Class C Outlaw getting an oil change in here today. And then this Winnebago Adventurer, you can see Brandon is enveloped into the interior of this thing because it's got slide problems, and the solenoids, as you can see, that are buried way back in the hole back there. And Brandon's working on that right there where it's got some issues and been leaking, and the back end of that thing was leaking too, wasn't it? It was weeping some, right there, yeah. Right. So he's got some new solenoids on there, but as you can see, fortunately, Brandon's small enough he fits back in those holes. Well, Friday afternoon, we're getting ready to get finished up here this week. As you can see, there's no fog in my breath like there was in the very first video. So this week's temperature sure has changed quite a bit. It was cold at the beginning of the week, and we had a couple good days of rain, and you know, now it's kind of nice out here. So got to see what the boys got to do. We got to go in here and see Cousin Gary right quick, and then we got several things lined up for next week. But thanks for watching. I got the video proof. He does work. You guys ask me all the time if he does work. There it is. He's working right now. He's getting the trash cleaned up and ready to go. That's what he does some days. Hey, thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate all the comments again from last week. Tune in next week. We got several things we're going to be working on. And as always, this video is what? Cousin Gary approved. And the trash is Cousin Gary approved. It's going to be here in just a few minutes. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.